how we are as people, depending on who we're around, depending on what atmospheres we're in, depending on what environments we're in,
it's a blessing and a curse at the same time, because you actually, when you see someone going through something, you actually take their pain on as well, and you can actually feel how they're feeling.
Like you said, we post what looks good, and of course no one sees the hardship of things. When people see successful individuals, multi-millionaires,
I don't chase money because I want to be rich. I chase money because I want to be able to provide, be able to have the freedom that I want.
I mean, strength is usually standing up and what we've been taught, which is to step up and protect your family, which is absolutely something I stand for as well. I honestly pray for people to break out of that bondage of Welcome back to Beyond Boundaries, guys. Johnny and I are here to provide some amazing value like always. Today we don't have a guest, but that's fine. It's going to be him and me just providing some value, having a mindful and innovative conversation, and also, just tapping into a little bit of flow state, which is very important, letting things go down certain paths just through the conversations that we take. So, God bless you guys. I hope you guys have been well. Make sure that you tune in. If you haven't yet, go like, go subscribe, go comment, go share, go show some love. And let's get into this, my brethren.
What's going on, guys? So, obviously you can see it's just me and JJ today. I sort of quickly asked JJ, what have you been up to, bro? Like, what's been happening? It's been a minute since we've seen each other as well.
Yeah. It's been definitely quite a while. I'd say that I've honestly just been working. I do my 1 week on, 1 week off. One of the weeks I'm a youth worker, a therapeutic trauma-based youth worker. So I look after young people that come from crisis. On my week off, I'd say, exercising, boxing when I can, working online, the podcast with you as well, making sure we're getting out clips, pumping out episodes, doing as much as we can as well to provide the God's kingdom. And also I could say that trying to tap into or understand my calling, if that makes sense. It's like what we talked about with Prophet James, being able to, find your calling, because we are all called by God and we all are ordained in some way. So trying to gravitate towards what I am ordained to do, if that makes sense. What about you?
Earth to do.
Pardon?
You're trying to find what you're put on this earth to do.
Absolutely, yeah.
That's good, bro.
What about you?
I've been alright, bro. Just same old, working, come back home, starting a new business, so that's been pretty tiring. And the past week I've been sick, so it's like trying to shuffle everything around. Time management's, like I said before, is out of the question, because there's half no time management at the moment. But to be honest, bro, just pretty tired at the moment, like just trying to figure out if I'm not doing enough or if I am doing enough, what my calling is, like you're saying, like what am I meant to actually be doing? It gets pretty tiring, you start to question yourself about like, what am I going to do next, or trying to see yourself in your future, if you're actually going to make it or if you're not, It's like, I'm pretty sure we're both the same. We're not comfortable where we are. We want to be uncomfortable, we want to be able to explore and achieve bigger and better things. So
amen to that. I think that's important. And through this time for you as well, and for how we're in a place of we're wanting to change, we are wanting to elevate, we are wanting to transform. And you just said that it's been quite stressful. You've been trying to juggle some things. You've got a new business that you've started on, which is, once again, congratulations on that. How are you keeping like an equilibrium in your mind, which means it's a balance of life, throughout these times of stress, throughout these times of adversity, especially with the juggling of multiple things?
It's hard to say, to be honest, because there is no like equal line. I'm pretty sure we've all heard it. It's like you just keep going. You're doing it and doing it, and then you get to the end of the day and you're like, damn, like you're full, just exhausted, ready just to drop and be like, oh, I'll start tomorrow again. So I don't think there is a balance, but there's not.
At the same time,
you can find the balance, but then you feel like you're not doing enough. And if you feel like you're not doing enough, then it's just, you're going to come crashing down. So I don't know, it's hard to explain. Like I think I just keep moving, just keep going, keep doing it. But then, like I was saying in one of the other podcasts, you still have to have that work-life balance as well. But this past week has just been no balance at all. It's just been getting shit done, because I only got so much time, Obviously I fly back to work tomorrow, and then when you come home, you only got that 1 week to get everything done. So like, even while I'm at work, I'm trying to sort everything out to plan it. And sometimes it doesn't go to plan, so it just gets pushed out. So How about yourself, bro? How do you control it, or is it just
Yeah, no, that's a really good one what you said as well. There's like a balance, but there's also not at the same time. There's also a concept around this where like everything's there, like in the universe, but everything's not at the same time. And would you say that before I go into your question as well, would you say that what we are doing, I guess, what a balance is could be what we make it to be?
yeah? It could be, yeah. Like, so you're going through life, everyday life, doing your own thing. That's your balance there, you know.
Mm,
So there's no like definition for what is balance. I
mm,
reckon. I think it's just what you're doing. You
yeah.
know, you create a balance doing that.
100%. I think that's really important because we label things too much, you know, and I guess when you think about everyone's perception on the world, when we think about, you know, the lens that everyone has, it's always going to be different. It's like my loyalty, my version of loyalty and what it means is going to be different from you. My different definition of balance is going to be different from you as well. So I think, you know, being able to allow the flow, I guess, once again, you know, talking at the start with the encouragement and with the start of the podcast, the flow state of just allowing the balance to find itself when it's needed as well. And also to answer your question, I try to balance things as much as possible. Although, like you said, there's probably a time where you just need to persevere. You need to step up and you just have to continue to push through those hard times as well. And it's quite funny when you look at like holidays, right? It's something I was thinking about yesterday. There's moments where you want to go on holiday. And when you're on holidays, you think about work, but when you're back at work, you think about holidays. So where is that peace of mind as well? Like it's just it's vanished. But I think the pursuit of, you know, being the best version of yourself and stepping up to into your truest power and substance, I think that is sort of the balance, and you feel greatly rewarded for that endeavor, if that makes sense.
Yeah, definitely. And like you were saying before, where you're on holiday and you think about work and vice versa, that's pretty much what it is. Because when you do go on holiday and you, like, say you do own your own business, or you are starting out your own business, you start to think, shit, did I do enough to even deserve this holiday? But then when you're
Mm,
at work, you're like, oh shit, I think I deserve this holiday. You know, so it's a bit like that. But to be honest, bro, like, there's two different worlds everyone has. There's a social media world, and there's a like real you. And I'm not here to put a fake smile on or a fake face, you know, a fake persona. At the end of the day, like, we do struggle ourselves behind closed doors. So
mm,
like social media might look like that, like I'm doing well or you're doing well, or like we got everything figured out, but really we don't. The-
mm,
We're still figuring it out.
yeah.
So yeah, just goes to show, like, to be able to even admit that, it's in itself, you know.
Yeah, no, I appreciate that. It's, you know, I really do honor you for expressing what you just expressed and being vulnerable in this moment. Once again, a lot of people would not say that on an episode.
Oh, definitely.
But I think it's good that you lean into that because, like you said, we post what looks good. And of course, no one sees the hardship of things. When people see successful individuals, multimillionaires, obviously, these multimillionaires usually post, or anyone posts, the good side of life, although they don't show the dedication behind the scenes. And, you know, it reminds you of something I heard at church, you know, a couple of weeks ago. It's about what you do in private, you know, when you're working, you're praying, you're working on your personal development, on your individuality, allowing the Holy Spirit and God to flow through you. You get blessed in public. But people really forget about the individual time you have with God, and, you know, you're praying and you're stepping into your power by doing things behind doors. But they just think about the public because that's what's coming up, you know, obviously at the face
It's
of
still what
things.
happens outside, not inside.
Yeah, no, exactly. Absolutely. And it's quite interesting you said persona. I think, you know, authenticity is such an important thing to tap into as well. You know, I'm not too sure if you knew, but, you know, authenticity is actually the highest frequency.
Yeah,
Like usually there's love, and then the above love is actually, because love is a very powerful word. As you know, hate is also a very powerful word, but authenticity tops love just a bit. And what I was trying to get with this conversation or right now with the word authenticity, it's really important to tap into because, like I just said, the frequency, it's the highest frequency, the most vibrant and the most potent one. And also the word persona in Latin, if you don't know, it means masks, which is quite interesting. And it was actually something I was thinking about today. I was thinking, hey, when you think about, you know, how we are as people, depending on who we're around, depending on what atmospheres we're in, depending on what environments we're in, we sometimes change masks. Does it make sense? With this person, I'll be like this a little bit with this person, and they might see different sides of you. And I think the best thing we can do is probably try to stay authentic in yourself, no matter what atmosphere you're in, no matter who you're around. You're just being yourself. You don't have to like conform to a certain version of yourself to fit into a certain crowd and so on and so forth.
Have you ever heard the saying that everyone knows you as someone different? No one knows you as the same person. So like, you know me as like how, let's say, like my persona is towards you, and then if you went up to someone else and like said, "Oh, what do you know about Johnny?" or like, "What's his traits?" blah blah, you would have completely different answers.
Yeah.
Because that you are correct. Like, people do put on a different mask and a different persona for certain different people,
Mm.
and I think that's just how the world runs.
That's, yeah. It's hard to drop that. It's definitely hard to drop that for sure. I think it goes into certain teachings as well about the mind and not projecting the mind too much, but it's something that we always do, and it's hard to get away from that as well.
Even with being authentic, it's hard to scrap that.
Oh, for sure.
Like you're saying, yeah, being authentic within yourself is good. You need to find peace within before you actually start to spread peace.
Yeah, no, that's a really important one as well. I think it comes to literally, like you said, you got to get the peace within internally before the peace external. I think that comes with the flesh, dying to the flesh as well, and doing things from a place of selflessness, because when you think about the word, even it ties into the word narcissism. I know this is quite a clickbait word that people use as well. You're a narcissist or you're a misogynist or whatever it is. It's quite interesting because like everyone is a narcissist on somewhat level. Unless you're okay to be a little bit of a narcissist. People are narcissist on a certain extreme and people are not. Like narcissist, the word means technically for self-gain.
Yeah.
To look at yourself and obviously, maybe have a bit of an ego or to care about yourself a bit. Although I'm actually happy to be a little bit a narcissist because it just means that I give a fuck about myself. Mind my language.
Sometimes you need to be able to do it to get what you want.
Yeah, no, for sure. Yeah.
And that's the whole gameplay in life. Like, your life is literally just a game. You can create literally every little moment in it.
Yeah.
So you might as well create like a good gameplay.
Yeah, no, indeed. So Johnny, what's been on your mind recently? Because I know we spoke about, some work and what's been going on, but like personally, like what has been on your mind? Is there like something that you are fixated to or something in life that you're really wanting that's been on your mind very heavily recently?
I think my future, bro. My future's been on my mind a lot lately. And it's been on my mind, like, obviously, when I was younger and stuff, when I first started this journey, you're always going to think about your future. But these past couple of months, it's like, where am I going to be, or what do I even want to do? Right? Because you can start new businesses, you can start doing stuff like what we're doing now. Like, you really got to ask yourself, like, is this what you want to be doing? And I think, yeah, my future's just been playing on my mind a lot, thinking like, where am I going to be? What am I going to be doing? And I haven't really come to a conclusion with it yet, but I do see myself doing bigger and better things. That's the only thing I can really say.
Amen.
Because I don't really know where I want to be. But like I was saying, I've started a new venture, been looking into starting a business, and it's just baby steps, it's the first step that you take that counts.
Yeah.
There's no point going back in time and going, I shouldn't have done that, but sometimes you got to risk it for the biscuit.
That's the head saying.
Everything is a lesson learned. Like, say if this business doesn't follow through how I wanted it to, then it's all right. Pick up your feet again and then start something new.
Yeah.
Shouldn't matter really. But yeah, I think my future's been playing heavily on my mind lately, right?
Nice. I love that. I think it's important that you are heavily fixated on the future at the moment, or you want change for yourself. And like you said, you've got to really risk it for the biscuit. It's quite interesting. We live such a multifaceted life. Like it's, multiple dimensions, multiple realities. And when you think about that, you said you just have to pick things up and you have to continue. You have to pick things up and you have to push forward. You have to pick things up and regardless of the emotions, try something new ventures. And, it's definitely something that we cannot dismiss and it's really important. And you can always find the parable in the message, which means the word parable means the lesson within the message. And the message could be all the ventures that you try. It comes back to the word labeled, I said before. We like to label things. Actually, nothing is bad. Maybe there's a fine line on something's bad. Like if someone like stabs someone in the neck or kills someone or murders someone for no reason, and it's, maybe spiritual conflict. Yeah, that is absolutely bad and that needs to be rebuked. But we don't have to label most things bad. Let's just say that we fail in a venture, we fail in something that we wanted to endeavor in. There's always a message in that parable, and it could always be used for the betterment of self, and where whatever trajectory you're trying to head on as well.
Yeah, and it's easier said than done. Like you got to have quite a strong, special mind to even be able to label things as all good.
Oh yeah, for
So many
sure.
people out there that like they'll hit a situation or certain topic or something they're going through,
Mm.
and they just break down. They don't know what to do. They don't know, like they can't turn the negative into the positive.
Yeah.
So it's a special kind of breed you got to be, really.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, it's sad as well because sometimes like I say to myself like I don't care, but really I do care. It's just I'm not physically and emotionally caring about this situation at the moment. Like I don't want it to affect me, my past and my future. I just want to keep moving forward. So you got like negative, positive. You just go straight past it.
Yeah,
And
definitely.
in that way, like it is kind of sad because you don't really get emotionally attached to certain things and stuff like that. You just go, yeah, all right, like on to the next.
Yeah. No, that's very true as well. Have you thought? Yeah, and as much as I absolutely agree with that, and as much as what I said about not labeling things bad, I think it's also very important to like express. That makes sense. It's what you said. Like sometimes we feel detached. Sometimes we feel numb to things because maybe the way we've constructed ourselves as well. I think it's actually very, very important, which I want to speak to the people, is to be vulnerable. I think masculinity, the way it's been for a long time. There's a traditional version of masculinity that's been taught for a long time, which is wipe your tears, suck it up, move on. And I think, to a perspective, that is absolutely fine, but it's counterintuitive, it's paradoxical. It works in this and it doesn't work in that, or it works in that and doesn't work in this. And I think strength, right, it could be looked at different ways. I mean, strength is usually standing up and what we've been taught, which is to step up and protect your family, which is absolutely something I stand for as well. Although I think strength is also being able to allow things to crumble, if that makes sense, to be vulnerable, to feel what you need to feel, because we live in a world that's quite broken at the moment, and people go through life suppressing parts of themselves. They're neglecting the aspects of themselves that need to be healed, the parts of themselves that need to be, hugged and just cared for as well. So I think sometimes just seeing things for what it is, like the acknowledgement of it, that's the first part of healing, is acknowledging it. And it's like, if we go through a situation and it is a little bit bad, to feel it for what it is, soak it in and be like, okay, but let me feel this, let me acknowledge it, let me heal from it, and then we just continue moving anyways.
Well, you can't heal without being let go.
Yeah.
You got to let go of certain things to be able to heal. You got to drop a tear. You got to get a hug from someone. You got to show your vulnerable side, and that's a lesson in that as well. You learn from it. It makes you to the person you are today. Otherwise you're just going to be walking around stern, hard head, not being able to understand certain things, just going, yeah, fuck it, I don't care, blah blah blah. You don't want to be like that. You want to be able to feel someone's emotions as well. You want to be able to see what other people are going through, and without being vulnerable, you're not going to be able to do that.
That makes a lot of sense. That comes down to sensitivity. And yeah, even when you look at it from a church perspective, like, to be a shepherd, let's just say that you're a pastor of a tribe or of a congregation or like a church, even when it comes to connecting with God more, it comes with that sensitivity.
Yeah.
And that means being vulnerable, because when you think about God, he doesn't want a hard shell, a hard numb shell. He wants to see the real you, which is the you that's also unhealed, or the version of you that's maybe going through something hard. He wants to see the vulnerable sides of you as well, the part where you're sensitive to the Holy Spirit, but also you're sensitive to yourself, because that's also like a projection or a reflection out anyways as well.
The real you is the person behind the closed door. As soon as you step out of that door, you like you're saying, you put on a mask. So the real you is the person you are when you're alone and no one's watching. Yes, that's the true, authentic you, because you're going to be doing things that your mind's telling you not going to be doing, things based off on what other people think, or based off on like having a different persona around different people. So if I want to ask you the same question as well, bro. What's been on your mind, like, what do you need, like, thinking about? Like,
Yeah. I'd say my calling. I think my calling is definitely something that's been on my mind quite a bit. It's quite interesting. There's a verse or a quote. I can't remember who said this quote, but they said you can connect the dots looking forward, you can only connect the dots looking backwards. And I guess, the way my path has moved, the path that I've taken has led me to this point right now, in this moment, in this current second of speaking, right? To speak to people, to feel encouraged enough to encourage other people. I think this is a calling for you, me being in this moment. It's like, well, once again, I'm going to quote Prophet James. He said, things happen in the spiritual before they happen in the physical. And I think that, the idea of you coming together with me, or us both collectively coming together to want to start up something, I think it's very powerful. And I think my calling, it's heading towards wanting to speak to people, even if it's to God's kingdom, or if it's motivational speaking, or whatever it is. But I feel called to speak. I feel called to use the frequencies of my words to, impact God's kingdom. And another one I would definitely say is that, I'll be a little bit vulnerable here as well as my last. Hey, that's something I'm actually working on at the moment. That's one of the tombs or the things that I need to learn to, cut off a little bit once again. So that's one thing, if I'm going to be honest.
Controlling your lust or finding lust?
Controlling my lust, yeah, for sure. Yeah, which I'm quite decent with it at the moment, but I'd say that because of the calling, and there are things that come with the calling as well itself, or what we're trying to do in life. There's always going to be things that might hold us back, or things that maybe we should learn to restrain ourselves from,
Yeah.
or to hold back from, or to discipline ourselves from, if that makes sense.
No, fair enough. Would you call yourself an empath?
For sure. And what does empath actually mean again?
So empath is pretty much, in a short, easy way to explain it, is someone that can pretty much relate to anyone. Someone that can see the hurt in someone, or feel the hurt in someone. And it's a blessing and a curse at the same time, because you actually, when you see someone going through something, you actually take their pain on as well, and you can actually feel how they're feeling. Just like you're putting yourself into someone else's shoes, literally.
Yeah.
And it gets quite exhausting for an empath, but that's like a true empath. I don't think it's not really, it's good to be an empath, but it's also good to know how to control it. So like, if I was to meet anyone on the street, I can kind of feel like they're telling me their story. I can feel how they're feeling, feel their pain, and give them the words of advice that, I'm obviously feeling. So when you were saying like you want to be able to speak to people, and you want to be able to bless people with your words of encouragement and stuff like that, I think being an empath is a good value to have as well.
No, thank you for sharing. That's definitely very powerful. I think, yeah, empath, you have to be an empath to relate to people as well, because there might be different realities, or different pathways they've taken, which maybe you've not stepped into. And it's maybe you don't understand their reality. We can say we understand, but we can only understand from feeling what their understandings are on what they're feeling. And to answer your question, I'd say that I definitely am an empath quite heavily. I can definitely feel people's emotions quite a bit. Like, even this is another vulnerable moment, but I was, or maybe it's not as vulnerable, depending on how I look at it. Although I saw someone like a couple of days ago, or like a week ago. I went to catch up with them, and they were expressing themselves, and they were going through a few things, but that actually wasn't. I could feel that energy lingering off them, if that makes sense. They were actually just having a normal conversation with me, although I actually started nearly crying. My eyes started watering up, because I could feel their pain and where it was coming from. Like, they weren't crying at all, but it's like the energy, this layer, this thing that was lingering off it.
Energy that's
Yeah.
them.
Yeah, like, it just made my eyes water, and I prayed for them on the spot. I just said, like, I just grabbed their hands and prayed for them. I was like, hey, like, I hope things change for you as well, and did a prayer for them as well. And like, yeah, to answer the question, I guess I would say I'm quite empathic.
No, that's good, bro. To get off this topic now, what else has been happening with you, Rola? There's a bit of a vulnerable one. Hey, I mean, working out, exercising, and been starting any new like business adventures, or getting into new things. Like, what's been happening?
Yeah, so I'd say Shopify is something that I want to get into a lot more as well, which I'm trying to do now. I'd say that is definitely something I hope to be profitable, or I want to will it into existence. It's a reality that I'm going to manifest as well. And of course that comes with actionalizing it and then materializing it. So I'm doing that. And anything new, nothing specific, exercising. I have been slack this week, if I'm going to be honest. I've been going for runs every single day, but I haven't been really like hitting the weights like that as well.
Doing something.
For sure, which is definitely good. And yeah, once again, I think trying to figure out my calling, which is such an important thing too, trying to lean into that the most importantly, which is, something that we're ordained to do as well. So trying to move towards that and find that pathway as well. And it's definitely not easy, especially as you said, there's a dynamic of life that we all go through. There's a there's a bit of constructive chaos because, the time management, the, juggling multiple things, you're trying to work yourself out. Although I'd say just doing things repetitively now as well. And when you think about change, like, usually that big change comes like 5 to 10 years later, as you probably know, like success takes 5 years. It's not a overnight thing. And I think it's just about the process of continuing to be repetitive so you can manifest and consistent, which is very important.
Because a lot of people say change, but change is being consistent. So you're not going to always be changing. You're going to stay consistent with that change.
Yes.
And that's what actually grows you.
That's a good one. Got to stay consistent with that change, hey? Yeah. And what about you?
Oh, look, man, I'm going to be honest. I haven't really been doing much health-wise. I've just been like buckled down in starting this business, obviously juggling life and work all together and stuff. So it's like I really need to pretty much say, fuck it and go all in at it. Because like being at work, like there's no excuse, 12.5 hour days, yeah, but there's no excuse. You still got 4 hours after work to be able to exercise or, read a book or jump on the laptop and do whatever. But yeah, I think like I guess that's been playing on my mind a lot lately too, is just getting healthy. Yeah.
Getting healthy. If you don't mind me asking, then is there a part of yourself that you may neglect throughout this time? Because it leans to, there's the juggling of life. There's different segments of life. There's different buckets of life, which we've probably spoken about before. There's, the finance, there's the physical, there's the spiritual, there's the mental, there's the psychological. And we can't pour into all those cups at once and all those buckets at once, to get to all of them to be filled up or to the point where they're all filling up. I mean, it's something that we have to do consistently over a lifetime, which takes time. Although, do you reckon there's a certain bucket that you're neglecting at the moment because your focus is on these 3 buckets, but let's just say that the other ones you're not focusing on because you're leaning into these buckets because of maybe success or something that you're trying to manifest?
I think there definitely is, like I was just saying, I think it's more my health that I'm neglecting because, it's not always rainbows and butterflies, bro. Like at the end of the day, we're only human, can only do so much. I take my hat off to people that can juggle all things and pour into all their little cups that they got going on. But yeah, I think my health I've been neglecting a bit, which I honestly need to cut it out and just go all in on it, Like at the end of the day, there's no excuse. I'm not sitting here giving anyone excuses.
Yeah.
I know what I got to do. I just got to do it.
Yeah, that's it. And yeah, no, that I love that as well because sometimes people ask, what do I do? And sometimes when I think about it is that you already know the answer. Deep down inside, everyone always knows the answer of what they need to do. Let's just say when it comes to exercising or diet or eating better, or when it comes to finances, whatever it is, people ask. And I understand, there's mentors out there, and that's why they're there, because there's people that have limiting beliefs or barriers in their mind that they need to break through. Although I'd say that technically everyone knows what to do. Sometimes they just need a hand to come out, a helping hand to come so they can be led into a place, a different frequency, maybe a breakthrough of barriers and so on and so forth.
Oh, definitely, bro. And there's only one way to do it, and it's just to start it. I'm not neglecting. Like when I'm at work, I'm obviously watching my health, like trying to watch what I eat.
For sure.
Like I work out here and there, but I'm not doing it as much as I should be doing it. And that's obviously something that just pulls me down. It's just like, shit, I don't want to be a fat shit. Yeah, that's something that's been neglecting a bit. How about yourself, bro?
Yeah, I would say, no, that's, I love honesty. Yeah, sometimes you gotta criticize yourself, hey, because it's you versus you in the mirror. And of course, God's there to, oversee that. Although,
Like I said before, we're here to keep no excuses. I'm going to tell you how it is, and I'm going to be as raw as I can, authentic as I can.
yeah, no,
That's if fucking people watching,
Yeah.
is what it is. We're here to shoot basically we are, not to, like I say to a lot of people, you got to fake it till you make it.
yeah,
And that's pretty much what I'm doing, bro. Just, just fake it till you make it. Make it sound like you're doing good, and then all of a sudden you'll be doing good.
yeah.
But yeah, there's obviously burdens that you carry around when you're doing that.
Oh, for sure. No, without a doubt. And to answer your question, you asked the same question, did you?
Yeah.
Yes. I'm honestly not too sure. I know there's definitely something I'm neglecting for sure. I'm sure there's definitely something. I'd say maybe, yeah, maybe it's health, but I mean, I try to run, so maybe I'm trying to point that one as well. Yeah, so maybe that's an exception. That's an exception of some sort of something. I'd say, maybe the emotions
Yeah.
a little bit as well. Maybe meditation is something really important. Like I'm quite observant and quite self-aware. My awareness is quite good, I would say, when it comes to myself. So I do understand when I'm feeling off center, although I think it's good to really cater to the emotions because, we have to go through life all the time and put our emotions aside, and there's nothing wrong with that. I know there's time. Well, I mean, it's counterintuitive once again. It's good and it's not at the same time. It's good because you need to push through and nothing comes easy. Like you said before, you have to go against the grain and you have to go against yourself and the flesh, and the spirit is trying to do things and the calling that God has upon you. But at the same time, I think that those times of zen, those times of sitting in one place or just meditating and just allowing the emotions to come up and to express what you need to express. And I guess this sort of ties into what we're speaking about before, the vulnerability of self, and to see things for what they are and be like, that's okay, this happened, but we grow, and just feel that pain as well, because that pain can turn into purpose, that pain can turn into power if it's transmuted or influenced or manipulated with what we do to use that energy.
There's no point holding on to your past.
No, not at all. No.
It's just going to bring you down even further. It's like a weight connected to your ankle. And the more things you hold on to, the slower you're going to get.
Yeah.
You're not going to be able to grow and bloom like a flower.
Indeed.
So I want to ask, what do you think is the next step for Beyond Boundaries?
Good question. Wasn't even thinking that. Thank you for thinking out the box, kind sir. I think definitely a seminar. I think that's definitely something we should step into as well. Although I'd say, continuing to be consistent and getting more episodes out there. This will be our 23rd episode, which is,
Congratulations to us.
Yeah, congratulations to us.
Oh, yeah, we've been in the background. We've been talking about starting a seminar.
Yeah.
Getting some of our guests that we've had on the podcast to come out and give their knowledge and pretty much give you the golden nuggets in their industry that they're doing. So that's something me and JJ have been talking on, and I think we're probably going to be starting something soon. So let us know if you do want to see one, or if you'll come to it. We're pretty good. I think we can get it going, harness it, get a good environment, atmosphere and stuff. So
I think that would be ambience. I think that would be absolutely beautiful. The ambience of that would be absolutely amazing, especially not just the people that come on, but also the energy we bring into the room, because once again, there's different people, different frequencies, different perceptions that are coming into the room as well. But being able to create, like you said, an atmosphere. That's what you said. Yes.
Yeah.
An atmosphere where people can come to learn, to come to get those golden nuggets, like you said, to come to feel heard, or come to feel alignment as well, because there's purpose in everyone. And whoever comes, like, once again, I'm going to link back to what I said before, the spiritual things playing out in the spiritual before the physical. And once again, people would be coming because of a calling, because an urge, a change of some sorts of frequency or breakthrough they're trying to go through as well. So us being able to provide that value to God's kingdom, I think that would absolutely be magnificent. I think that'd be on top. I think that'd be,
and it'll be sounding for Beyond Boundaries as well, stepping into their next venture.
Yeah.
It was at the end of the day, like, we started this going into it as just the podcast, to give guidance or give the audience a good listening, something to listen to, so starting this will be just the next big thing, I guess.
Yeah, I think that would be,
because at the end of the day, we're pretty organic, you could say, because we're not out there trying to chase views and likes and stuff. Like, we will take what we can get. So like, we're at that 23rd episode, and at the end of the day, we don't really care if we're not getting thousands of likes, thousands of views. It is what it is. We're doing this because it's, like you're saying, it's our calling. We don't really care, but that's just a bonus. Like, here's with it,
No, indeed. It definitely is our calling, and I know that the views will come at some stage, although even if that takes another year, another 2, I'm still happy to stick it out and thug it out with you as well. I think it's going to be absolutely amazing at some stage when it does come through. But for now, I think consistency. And, when you see a lot of other podcasters, big names in the industry, sometimes they said they've done like 100 episodes or 200 episodes before things actually blew up.
Well, exactly.
Well, kicked off, yeah.
Our Rogan experience, you think that blew up after the first episode? I mean, because he's well known, but like, he's at his 2000
is he?
first episode, like,
Wow.
it's just consistent. Obviously, he's grown to the point where he has big names now, like, coming on his podcast and stuff.
Yeah, no. And I'm sure we're going to get big names on the podcast as well at some stage as well. I'm sure that, in Jesus' name, we'll absolutely manifest that without a doubt. Is there anyone that you look to have any on at any time soon? Or any stage?
I'm easy, bro. As long as they I hold value.
Yeah.
No, I don't even care about getting people on that just want to speak about life experiences.
Yeah, yeah, true.
Like we've obviously interviewed millionaires. We've obviously interviewed people in like the meditation and breathwork places, property, real estates. You know, we're pretty much like spiritual. We've literally done everything here. So it's, whoever wants to come on, just hit us up. If you got something to share, or if you hold value in a certain industry, just let us know.
Sounds like a plan. And a question around this as well is that we interview people and we create a space for them to come on to express the expression of self, which is very important, the enlightenment that they are going through because of their journey and their path and whatever success they have reached. And we've interviewed people with multiple different stories and topics. And my question for you is, do you have a topic in your mind at the moment, or something that you've been researching or sort of into wanting, or have the idea of wanting to research?
I think probably business, bro.
Business,
How
yeah.
to scale your business. Like I was speaking with Bailey not long ago, and he gave me one of these free books.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
So when I get
Yeah.
there, I'm going to be reading that. You know, I think I want to get a lot more knowledge on how to run a business, how to scale a business, advertising, marketing, you know, speaking to clients, quotes, blah, 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 you know. That's what I think that I'm really like researching, looking into at the moment. Probably because I'm starting my own business. So, by the way, it's going to be coming out soon. Just watch this space, you know.
Amen to that. So would you say that business, I guess this correlates into another question I was going to ask you. The question I was going to ask you was, what skills do you think you're lacking, or what skills do you think you want to know more? And I guess that sort of links into it. Would it say business?
Yeah.
Yes.
Talking to clients, quoting, and how to scale a business.
Yep.
True, authentic way. Not just like guessing and going, oh yeah, spending all my money on ads and nothing happens, you know, like there's obviously a step-by-step way you gotta actually do it.
Yeah. Would you know that that is definitely powerful as well? I'm sure you'll definitely tap into that. What was the name of the book that Bailey gave you? Alex Hormozy, was it?
Yeah, Alex Moses,
That was good.
$1 million sales.
Yeah. Do you know he made, I can't remember how much he made in that time because he did a live video.
Yeah.
When he was bringing it out, he made like 100 billion, or was it?
Yeah.
Something like
He
that.
was selling the books.
Yeah, yeah.
Bailey dropped, man.
10 grand, wasn't it?
Bailey dropped 10K on these books. So if you want a free book, hit Bailey up. What did I achieve? Freedom with Bailey. How is that his Instagram?
Ooh. Oh, that's his old one. I'm pretty sure it's like Bailey.delight.
So if you want to hit him up, any business ideas or anything, you know, go hit him up. He's a good bloke.
Yeah. No, that would be good. I think I need to get that book as well. I haven't ordered it. He did send me a link to it, I'm pretty sure, a few days ago, or like a week or two ago, but I'll definitely get to that before the book's right
It's
out.
a bit like calling, man, because I was just starting my business, like doing all the ABN, all the backside of everything, and he messaged me saying, do on this.
Oh, wow. A lot of calls today.
You know, like it's to do a business, you know, like $100 million in sales, to scale your business, blah, blah. I was like, perfect timing, bro. Like,
Yeah.
I want it now. And he's got a good heart to be able to give out 200 free books.
Yeah, oh, for sure. No, he's definitely doing quite well. I mean, yeah, I was having a chat with him recently about it, and he was saying, you know, dropping some names here, but he said that Michael got heaps angry at him. Yeah, because Michael was telling him it's time, Michael was telling him now it's time to live like you're broke.
Yeah.
And then Bailey just went like against that, which once again is his money. And he's
It is. But it's not wrong, Michael. Like,
yeah.
I say it to a lot of people, the difference between the rich and the poor is how stingy you are.
Yeah.
So you got to be stingy. Like the rich are stingy. And then in the day, and that's how they keep their money. So they just keep getting rich. Right?
Yeah.
The poor want to live like the rich, and the rich want to live like
The poor. Yeah. No, that's a good one. It's an opposite effect. It's quite interesting because, you know, that's why we live in a society where people are so, it leans into, you know, the market, you know, the economy. It leads into selling people things. I mean, once again, it's probably an ideology or a certain propaganda or an influence that has been pushed onto the world where you have to buy this to look like this, or you have to buy this to be this.
Yeah.
And it's like what I said to you before anyways, is that it's not about the suit, it's about the man under the suit. You know, it's about the potency and the spirit that you carry, the anointing, the power of that as well. And once again, you can be very powerful and rich and have a lot of money, but you don't have to prove yourself to anyone.
Yeah.
You know, that's for sure. Just to yourself and God. I think that's the most important. That's absolutely the most important.
being rich comes down to the freedom, bro.
Freedom, yeah.
So like, I don't chase money because I want to be rich. I chase money because I want to be able to provide and be able to have the freedom that I want, you know. I want to be able to give back to my family. I want to be able to give back to friends and pretty much show people what's possible. Like, just because you got $1 million in your bank doesn't mean you're the happiest person in the world. There's so many millionaires out there that are miserable because they don't know what to do with their money.
True.
It's facts.
Yeah. Some of them go through a lot of, because what money does, it amplifies who you are.
Yeah.
I remember someone saying this, is that it literally amplifies who you are. My English was not Englishing there for a second, but it amplifies who you are. So let's just say that you're a douche and you're got certain tendencies and habits, habitual habits that are quite negative, or whatever it is, it's going to amplify that. So let's just say that, to be brutally honest, let's just say someone's a drug addict and they get millions of dollars, it will amplify that drug.
Oh, yeah.
Because they'll be sniffing more coke, they'll be doing more worse things, they'll be more degenerate because that's what they are like before. So I think it's actually really important about the journey of money when you're trying to become successful, is that it's not about the money, it's about the man you become. It's about the growth that you have internally as well, not just about the materialism and everything on the outside, because you still stay the same if you're just focusing on material. But if you're doing business, but you're also focusing on, wow, this turns me into a bigger and higher caliber man. I think throughout that journey of becoming rich or wanting to become rich, once again, this is me assuming because I'm not a millionaire yet, keyword is yet, is that you purify and you clean your vessel, you clean yourself through the journey of becoming rich, because you change yourself, because you're focused on the self as you get rich, rather than just the money and the richness by itself.
Yeah, definitely. I was just about to say that, like, money does change you, but it depends. It's your choice to change you into something better or something worse. Like, I always used to say, oh, money doesn't change you. Don't let money change you. But it's obviously going to change you no matter what. But it's going to change you for the better. You're going to be able to do a lot more things. You're going to be able to dress nicer. You're going to be able to drive nice cars. And that in itself is going to change you. Your ego is going to change. Your humbleness is going to change a lot of things. But you don't let it control you to the point where you're just a cockhead. Does no one likes a millionaire cockhead?
Yeah, no, exactly. Absolutely. It's awesome when you see people very successful and like you said, they are very humble. It's a very humbling thing to witness, because they don't have to prove themselves. They're not trying to peacock too much or flaunt too much. They're absolutely humble, and like they care about God's kingdom and the spirit led. I think that's something that magnificent to see. I think that's really good as well. If you had $1 million right now, what would be the first thing you would do?
Invest.
Invest? Yeah.
$1 million is not much nowadays.
Yeah, I know, not anymore.
Some people say, I'll buy a house. And you'd be left with $400,000. $1 million is not enough.
Yeah.
I think I'd probably invest half and create a business venture with the other half, maybe. And obviously help my family out. Start my mum. Probably help my mum out. Try and retire my mum. I guess that's the main goal for all of us.
Yeah.
Is helping family out and stuff. But yeah, it's hard to say what you do, But it's just like, imagine if you won the lotto and you won 30 million. Then that's where you can go, oh yeah, money's getting spread out throughout the family. Invest in a lot of things, make your money work for you.
No, that's important.
It's hard to say because, man, if that happened overnight, who knows what you would do? You'd get crazy.
Yeah. No,
I think that's why it's better to have a journey to, obviously it'd be good if you got given, if you got given $1 million, but I think it's better to create a journey to earn that $1 million. Because you can look back and go, man, I did this step by step by myself. Went through the hardship, went through the good ship, created something for myself, and then you reap the rewards,
Reap the rewards, yeah, you got to enjoy the spoils of being a man. That makes a lot of sense, the journey. I guess that sort of links into what I said before about just focusing on the money rather than the journey. It's like what people always say, it's such a cliche, but, focus on the journey. It's about the pathway. It's not about the ending. It's not about the finish line. It's about the journey, which is probably bears the most fruit, especially because, it builds your character and you learn so much from it as well. And I guess that journey is what grounds you towards, this is what my mission is and this is what I want to do. Let's just say that you decide to want to build a non-profit organization or something, so you're making money or millions of dollars so you can just fund your own non-profit organization and go around and impact millions of kids in third world countries and stuff. That's like a really deep envisioned mission to be on as well. And it's something that I think, like you said, you'll bear so much fruit from it as well.
Yeah, definitely. It's just like when you drive in a car, bro, from one destination to the other. You start at a destination, yeah, it's nice, and you get to the destination, it's nice, but in between, it's even nicer.
Mm.
You know, the scenery, the relaxation, you know, you're actually embracing it all.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it is all about a journey, really.
Yeah. No, life. It's quite interesting. It's quite nuanced, isn't it?
Yeah, so when I was traveling in New Zealand, bro, through the South Island and North Island, I didn't care about the destination because down there it's beautiful. Like the whole journey, I was driving 4 hours at a time, just loving it because it's the scenery that I was seeing. You know, the journey that was taking me, all the roads you went through, all the hills and stuff. It's beautiful, the journey.
Yeah. No, indeed. And yeah, tell us a bit about New Zealand. How's that? What was your favorite thing of New Zealand?
I think just the scenery, bro.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful little island. Would you say?
Yeah.
It's unreal. It's crazy. I know a few New Zealand people. I was like, "Oh, have you been to the South Island?" I'm like, "No,
Well, when you were there.
no."
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
I'll say like one of the son I work with, he's 35, and I asked him, "Have you ever been to the South Island?" And he grew up in New Zealand 25 years. You know, no, I've never been. I was like, "Yeah, that's crazy because it's unreal. The South Island is just spectacular,
Wow.
gorgeous. The rivers, the waterfalls, the hills, like it's unreal. It's a beautiful
Powerful.
place."
Yeah. No, I'll have to go check it out. And I just got some downloads then. Some downloads then as you're saying, you know, people like it's quite interesting because you said that there's someone that's 35 years old, 35 years old that was born in New Zealand, but he has not been to the places of New Zealand or other, you know, destinations and New Zealand. And it's quite interesting because I've even spoken to like Bali's cool, and it's good that you've done some traveling as well. But I've spoken to people that are like 50 years old, 40 years old, 30 years old, and they're, you know, all sorts of ages, all sorts of demographics, all sorts of digits, and they've only been in Perth and that's it.
Never left that couch.
Never let yeah. Take couch for hit.
That as well, right? Until I met my missus, like, their missus really opened my eye up to traveling, you know.
Yeah.
And now it's just like I want to travel the world, bro.
Yeah.
I think, well, there's me and Mrs. got some plans together to go to Thailand, go to Europe.
Let me know when you go to Thailand, I'll come.
Yeah,
Yeah.
a district. No, oh yeah, like I think I saw travel a lot more before I actually settled down. Obviously, run my business and everything like that, but I think travel was one of the main things. I want to go to the islands in Thailand, bro. And
Thailand.
apparently they're really good.
Yeah, the red district, that got me. Yeah.
Not me, mate. Not me.
Yeah. But yeah, no, of course, absolutely, especially if you're cuffed up and stuff. And even single, I don't think you should be like dwelling with all of that as well. But yeah, no, that's good. I'm happy that you've opened your eyes.
You're not wrong about the people, bro. I like that haven't experienced
Mhm.
that side of things, and I'm not gonna hate on them. At the end of the day, they can do what they want.
Oh, for sure.
Like, there's heaps of people out there that have no interest at all in traveling. They just want to live their own life here.
Yeah, yeah,
That's fair enough. Like, good on you, as long as you're happy, I guess. But
yeah,
I think I want to see the world, so
for sure. And I pray for
I'm
the
down for taking a month off fucking at work just to go see the world. You know, that's just what I want to do.
yeah, and that's
Stay here, baby. Stay here.
for sure. And people are going to be like that. That reminds me of the podcast you actually said, or in the podcast that we had when you said a long time ago. There's people that are at the FIFO life, which you're doing that now, but you have a plan to the Great Escape,
Oh,
right? And some people want to stay there as well. And one thing is that life is very nuanced, like I said before. There's so much layers to it, and I know that I honestly pray for people to break out of that bondage of, you know, spiritual conflict, or the bondage of staying in one perception, or the bondage of staying in one geographical location. I think there's so much sprinkles of power everywhere, and, you know, godly things. And sometimes that comes with looking beyond the scope of what we can see right now, you know, more than what the eyes can even perceive as well, because you only get those downloads. You can get downloads in Perth being here, right? But when you go to different places and different religions, or different specific knowledge that, you know, is ingrained in that culture and that different geographical location, there's so much things to learn as well. And when you think about, it's something that I was actually learning at church yesterday as well, when, you know, James was speaking, he was saying that, you know, the cup, right? There's a cup right here. And if this is the cup, this is the size of your cup, that's the only amount of anointing you'll get, right? The thing is, the anointing is everywhere, and everyone can have the anointing. Everyone, it doesn't do anything more powerful, but it only grows, and the anointing only does as much as you can take, as much as your cup can hold. So I think through the travel, the anointing, or you just expand so much. Your cup expands so much, where the power of not just your physical body, but also your spirit, and also this your psychology as well. You just expand so much because of the data and the downloads and what you see and perceive and perceptions that you gain from that. Yeah, there's a good quote that goes like this. It says, your perception is limited by the boundaries of your own understanding. So, if your perception, by staying in one place and just looking at one perception, that's just going to be a limit. But life is limitless, if you want to make it like that.
You create your own life.
Mm.
You create your own gameplay. This thing I seen not long ago was like, your life is literally a game. Like, find that restaurant that, serves good food. Find the coffee place that remembers your order. Find the place where you can sit down and do business deals. But this is your life, your game. You create it. So you literally can create it into anything you want.
There's new
choice.
Yeah, there's new places to unlock, isn't there?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, no, that's good. That's good.
So before we wrap it up, do you want to share any encouraging words or anything?
Yeah, for sure. So, for my people, for God's kingdom, I pray and hope that you guys step into your truest power, to step into who you want to be, because as me and Johnny were just conveying, is that life is limitless. Once again, your perception on the world is limited by the boundaries on your own understanding. So it's up to you. I pass the ball to you to change, to look beyond the scope, to look into power that sprinkles everywhere. And I'm sure that you'll find that those downloads, and you'll find that path, and those crumbs around the world as you continue to grow and expand your mind, because you have the potential. And like I said, the perception on the world is limited by the boundaries of your own understanding. So make sure to step into your power and to look beyond the scope. And that's what I'll leave with you guys today. And I'm sure Johnny might have some encouraging words if he would like to, at his discretion.
That was beautiful, bro. I think what I'm going to leave you with is keep doing what you're doing. Get at it. Do what you got to do. Don't be stuck in situations you don't want to be in. And yeah, just keep growing. Keep kicking goals. That's all I can say. And we'll see you on the other side. Catch you later.